Hey everybody! It's Independence Day! Ho ho! So exciting. I feel fucking so independent right now, don't you?
Not really.
No. Yeah, I don't feel that independent. I mean, I guess in my own world I feel independent, but not in the world of the state, of the government. Hell no.
Oh no.
Apparently in my notes, I'm being told that this is there's a holiday today.
National holiday.
By national you mean?
Like America.
Okay, America.
Like America.
Oh, so the people from the country of America are celebrating a holiday today.
Today is the day of our independence.
Whose independence?
That's the question, really. Right?
I'm not independent.
I'm not independent.
What? It's not my Independent Day. Is it your Independence Day?
No.
Oh, okay. So it's somebody's Independence Day today.
Oh, it's the Statist Independence Day.
Yeah, all the statists are
All
celebrating
the
their
statists are
independence.
celebrating.
They're celebrating independence from anarchy.
And a free society.
Yeah, they're celebrating their independence from freedom today. Happy Statist Independence Day, guys!
Woo!
I'm so glad that you guys don't have to be free. That's awesome. You can just be tyrants. That's great. Like,
Yeah.
Imagine that. Like, it's easy. Like, you're a tyrant, and it's fucking great. Okay, so we have a lot of special things planned because we know it's a statist holiday today, and we don't want you guys to feel like we just put together a half-assed show. Hey guys, that was Essential Scrutinizer trying to cut us out because we were talking about some sort of what were we talking about? Oh, the Independence Day thing.
Yeah, Statist Independence Day.
Well, it's true.
Big Brother watching us.
It's true though. It's not my Independence Day because I'm not part of America. I'm not an American. Oh my God! I just said I'm not American. Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't even.
I don't believe
excuse
I'm
me.
American
I'm sorry, guys.
either.
I can't believe I just said I'm not American on the camera. That's embarrassing. That's really embarrassing. You know what else, though, too? Sarah, I want to admit, I don't even have a nationality. I don't even belong to any nation.
Well, I don't think anyone should. I think we should all be people of the world, to be honest.
Could we just have our own nations?
Yeah.
Like, Randall
Can we
Stan?
just live somewhere without being in a nation? Like, why do we have to have boundaries?
Right. It's like, it's so crazy how, like, you could live, like, on the other side of a river of me, and I could, like, see you and be like, hey, how's it going? And, like, I could be like smoking a blunt, like a weed pipe, and I could see you on your balcony like doing the same thing. We could like got our weed from the same guy that same day.
Yeah.
And then you see me like getting hauled off, and you're just like, that sucks,
That
dude.
sucks
Like
for
smoking.
you.
Like, it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
morality has to do with where you're standing, because that makes a lot of sense. Like what's right and wrong
Makes
has
a
to do with
difference.
depending where you stand. Yeah. Because like maybe at the bottom of a mountain, raping is cool, but on the top of the mountain, no rape,
cool.
no way.
No.
Yeah,
I want to live at the top of the mountain.
Right. Yeah, in that case, consider me a top. I'm a top person. So we have some stuff planned for the show today. We're gonna go over the list of statist crap, just because it's a statist holiday, so we can focus exactly on what all the statist shit is out there, and lay it out, blueprint for you. We're gonna get into Sarah's background a little bit. Sarah's a good longtime friend of mine, buddy of mine, and she's been on her road to liberty and such. So we're gonna talk about that maybe. Hopefully. And then we have some statist beliefs that we had that we started to crack through or destroy.
Yeah, me personally, recently in the past couple years.
Yeah, me too. You know,
been realizing a lot of things.
They say the difference between a libertarian and an anarchist is about 6 months if you're smart.
Sure, I'll get to anarchy soon then.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you kind of want to make sure that you don't start screaming about ending the government, ending the state, and all this stuff if you're not 100% sure. Like, for you to, tell your family and tell people that you meet on the street, like, yeah, I'm anti-government. I don't think we should be paying taxes. I don't think we should have a standing army. I don't think we should, have coercive, compulsory schooling for basically what compulsory schooling is. Just a side tangent real quick. It's like,
right.
You have some kids with your husband and your family, and I say, hey, your kids aren't learning enough. I want your kids to learn more. Put your kids in a room and make them learn. Well, our kids are doing that in our home. No, that's not good enough. We're going to put a gun on your we're gonna basically send you a letter.
Yeah.
All this bureaucratic nonsense until you ignore that, and then they drag you off to
and
a
what's
cage.
worse is that they control what they learn. That's what they don't like, is not controlling what the children learn. Yeah. You know.
That's the whole reason.
Because even if you homeschool them, isn't it like most states require you to follow a certain curriculum and.
Too many states do. Too many states do. Some states don't even really actually. You can unschool, which unschooling is actually when you don't have to do any kind of curriculum.
Right. Yeah.
Which is
just let the kids learn.
Basically the state of nature. Like if a cat has kittens or a deer has baby deer, there's no like bear that comes along and is like, hey, those deer aren't running enough. Get them running, mommy deer. Like
make them run.
We're the only species that make each other's families boss each other's kids around, owe each other things, like basically.
And if you don't do it, they put you in jail.
Conscript each other into slavery, yeah.
Put people into prison. My mom would always put that over me.
You
don't go to school, I'm gonna go to jail.
That's like a guilt trip wrapped in statism.
It's terrible.
Divided by child mindfuck.
Yep.
Pretty crazy. All right, so thanks for everybody that's watching live, for tuning in. I know you're probably missing some pretty exciting fireworks. We're having them going on in the background right now, but they're pretty distracting. So I don't see what the point of that is, but we'll get into that a little bit in a minute. We're going to get to our list of statist crap right now. The first item on our list, Sarah, if you want to read it, you can go ahead. Be our announcer for now.
So our first piece of statist crap is flags.
Yeah, flags are total statist crap. Because here's the thing. I think a flag could be cool if, like, let's say me, you, and 5 or 10 of our friends, like, had a club that we had and we put a little flag over the door, or, like, you know, outside of our little tree house or fort or whatever. But, you know, I mean, that's like, you feel like, don't you feel, I feel like the biggest flag usages in the world are, like, groups that are really tribal, like soccer clubs, football clubs, obviously governments.
Right.
Because I was just about to say that all flags are trash, but then I'm like, well, you know, you have like the Don't Tread on Me, you know, the whatever they call that flag.
Right. Or the gay pride flag.
Yeah, I mean that's a flag that gives strength to a people that had a hard time finding their strength, which I understand. But you know, I think the problem with a flag is that by you waving a flag, it's like you're saying, I'm all about me. Like, I'm gay, I want to just be known for my gayness. Or I'm American, I just want to be known for my Americanness. Like, and a lot of times, if you are gay, or if you are American, or if you are a Don't Tread on Me libertarian, you're still boxing yourself into a little ass thing. Because that saying, by putting up that geez, I wish I could remember the name of it. The steak and all that shit. Don't tread on me, whatever. There's a name to it. Whatever. By waving any flag that you wave, whether it's your Russian flag or your American flag, your German flag, or your Apple logo, you're letting the whole world. Here's how I define myself: by one symbol, one simple icon. It's a sign of a feeble mind in my mind. It's like saying, like, oh, I don't want to be complex or rich. I just want to be this icon on a cloth.
I just want to be American.
And I also, like, flags are not something that we all have. Like, I don't have my own flag. You don't have your own flag.
No, I don't have a flag.
And I think
I don't have like I should make a Sarah flag.
We should all make.
We should all make our own flags,
that would be
right?
cool. That'd be great. That would be awesome.
This is me. I'm Sarah. Have like a crest.
Yeah. So just so everyone knows, we're drinking alcohol. It's not because it's Independence Day, but just because we are drinking alcohol. And if we said we were drinking like water or something, that'd be a little deceiving. So anyway, so flags. Let's get a little bit deeper into flags real quick. Not even deeper, just make sure we touch on everything. I mean, what else is statist about flags?
I think that it's statist about flags because it gives you, because like people who don't realize that they're being controlled, like look at a flag, like this is how I used to look at it, as a grouping together, you know, like we're Americans, like we're united, you know, we're people, we're like, if you're ever in a different country and you see an American, you're like, oh, you know, that's my dude, you know, that's my person.
Right.
But it tricks you, you know?
Right. I think it does trick you, and I think it tricks you in so many ways, but, like, first of all, you're not going to know, you're not going to believe in yourself being tricked until you accept the fact that you could be tricked. And I want to touch a little bit throughout this episode on like the fact it's like, you know, I've been debating a lot of status on Facebook like the past 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
My previous one of my teachers back from high school, one of my peers who graduated that same year from high school with me, and a couple people out there just kind of who just been one of the people that commented on one of Mike Shanklin's posts recently today.
Yeah,
I was going off because like the man was just giving one line responses to everything, and it was just kind of like I kind of started to realize I was debating with someone that didn't have their thoughts really figured out. It was just like
no, not at all. One line answers, telling him that he played word games. It was just like stupid little things. Like didn't have any arguments.
He wouldn't go after
his points.
Yeah,
like he had no points pretty much.
What we were trying to talk about.
Yeah.
About like we were talking about basically whether taxation was theft or not. Which
it definitely is.
It definitely is in my view. But if someone wants to make a coherent argument to where it isn't, here's my reason. Anybody in the audience wants to try something, or actually, we have a hashtag going.
Yes.
Twitter hashtag Statism Day.
Statism Day.
Today is Statism Day, so if you have a tweet, you can tweet us hashtag Statism Day, and we will tweet back.
We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. So flags. Next one, badges.
Badges.
Anybody who has a badge, and here's something I encourage you guys to do. Everyone always says, "How do we fight the state?" You don't beat up your mailman. That's not the answer. Get them while they're not looking. No, people don't realize the postal service isn't even really an arm of the government. They're just funded by the government.
Private service.
It's a private service, but the government funds it,
yeah.
like PBS or something like that, and they can regulate it. But
I remember when it was going to be shut down. Remember that? And everyone freaked out.
Yeah, and it wouldn't freaking matter because the free market would spring up like 1,000 new startups. So like, get your mail here. And
that's when I learned that it wasn't that's when I learned that it wasn't an arm of the it wasn't a government thing. Entity.
Okay, so badges though. So what I want to encourage you guys to do is like, and I'm not saying be a douchebag per se, but here's the thing: you wear a badge. What are you trying to say with that badge? Something rude, pretty much. Like
most of the time, it's rude.
Even like
I think I've met 1 or 2 nice cops.
Even a private property badge. The only reason that private property, mall security, and stuff like that wear badges and have like cop-like outfits and stuff is because of the template that's what authority looks like, or that's what something that we should respect looks like. If we had a free and just society, and we had safety officers who worked for a conglomeration of local businesses to make sure that there was no theft or crime near their campuses or near their areas or in their parking decks. That's logical. I mean, a business makes billions of dollars a year. You think they can't afford to put 40 or 50 guys around their like square mileage around their? It would pay to live near businesses. It'd pay to. Oh wow, that builds communities. Oh wow,
incentives.
And I think they would all want to chip in and fix the roads, right? Like we could do a Kickstarter campaign and everyone put in $5 each and get another layer put on the road, like two layer driving, like whatever. So anyway, anyone who wears a badge is trying to say like, I'm in control. I can dominate you.
Yeah.
You're my subject. I have the authority to have special rules. Oh yeah. It's like I'm powerful. So I just think that a badge is definitely a piece of status crap. That one's
it's not appreciated.
It's not appreciated. It's like rude. It's like if I actually had a T-shirt that said, "I'm fucking better than you. Suck it." Like it's just aggressive. It's rude. Thing. It's mean. It's like I don't want to be your friend if you walk around with a badge on. Don't think that I'm going to respect you if you have a badge, if you're a cop watching this. I'm not. Sorry. All right. Number 3, Sarah.
Fireworks.
This one was mine, so I don't expect you to defend this one. Everybody loves fireworks.
I love fireworks.
I love it.
I do.
I spent a good part of my life.
I don't love it because of 4th of July, though. I just like it because it's
impressive.
Pretty,
it's impressive.
It's beautiful. It's explosive. It's like, ooh, wow,
Yeah, I guess I
don't
could say
ooh and ah, though, but.
Maybe fireworks is one of the ones that could maybe not be on the list, but here's what I wrote down. It's my sacrificial lamb on the list because I feel like I don't want to be too safe. And everybody can understand flags or badges and some of the other ones that are coming up, but fireworks, we all think we like it, but think about how much money is spent all around the nation to blow shit up on one specific day. And what are we blowing shit up to signify? We're blowing shit up to signify that we are free or that we are awesome or that America is great. And we is not a thing because I am not part of what you guys are all celebrating. That money is coming from somewhere that is destroying the economy because of something called the broken window fallacy.
That's true.
When you throw a window through a rock, when you throw a rock through a window, let's say in a factory, the factory worker fixing that window does not stimulate the economy. That's a fallacy. It's called the broken window fallacy. What that means is that people will say, well, oh, it's a good thing because, you know, that is a window that was fixed that would have never otherwise had to been fixed if that rock didn't smash through it.
Right.
But if that guy didn't have to fix his window, he would still have a window. He wouldn't need to fix it. He'd have a great window that was already working fine. And he'd also have the money to go stimulate the economy somewhere else. Make his business better, advertise. It's not like he wouldn't have spent that money necessarily.
His workers more.
Sure. So that's what's known as the broken window fallacy, the idea that destroying things. And that's the same justification that used to go into war. People would say, oh, well, if we go to war, you know, yeah, it's economic boom because, you know, we have to build tanks, we have to build jet fighters. Not when all that stuff just gets blown up, and the only use for it is to blow other stuff up. It's not like you can turn a jet fighter into a really cool, you know, ride at an amusement park.
Yeah, or something.
No, it costs like $100,000 to put that thing in the air or something like that, just in gas and GPS
just so
technology.
It can get blown up.
Just to get blown up. Yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised, like a little frack grenade, like a little thing that you just like test and try and melt. Like, oh, let's try this, guys. That shit's like $5,000. Like I could buy a Bitcoin mining machine and like mine $800 to $1,000 worth of coin every month right now, with what they just throw around their little training exercises.
Basically, just
they're aggressive little boys stomping around, temper tantrum shit. All right, so fireworks is let's break stuff, let's blow stuff up to prove how awesome we are. Pound your chest. Tribalist bullshit. Okay. Take the money, throw an amazing party, and don't do it on the 4th of July. Do it on a fucking random ass day of the year when it doesn't matter who you're celebrating, what you're trying to prove. Just celebrate something random. Celebrate love. Celebrate music. Celebrate life. Celebrate diversity. Celebrate introspection or self-growth. Let's have a self-growth festival on August 15th as a world.
Let's do it.
No, I'm not really proposing that, but I'm saying, like, why doesn't the world do interesting new stuff? We all just celebrate the same mundane bullshit, which is actually number 4.
It's like the world. You know, like your friend's stuck in a rut, and you're just like, oh, I really wish, like, they make it out, and, like, you know, whatever. It's like the world is stuck. No, yeah, my friend is the world. Yeah. My friend is the world stuck in a rut because it's just going in the same direction, round and around and around. It's terrible.
Yeah,
no one sees it except for a select few.
It's physically true and it's metaphorically true. Like the world, if you think about it, like it just does this around the sun forever, and then there's like a moon going. Like it's just balanced. It's doing the same cycle all the time. So I think just from inertia, it makes sense that a lot of the people in the world are just repeating the same cycles all the time. But
same path.
Statism is the oldest technology we have in society. It's something that has been used and misused for literally millennia. Millennia is a time frame that doesn't make sense to describe anything occurring other than statism. To say this empire reigned from here to here. Yeah. The only thing you talk about millennia is how long people have been statist, or this flavor of statism. Yeah. I've been the Roman statist for it's been in our family for 7,000 years or whatever, you know, 700 years. And then why did we have why did mankind have a dark age? Because all the big states, all the, you know, the Greek and the Roman and all the empires of the world all imploded. Yeah. And people were left holding the bag. Yep. Basically all the things the government promises you, they can't promise you. Just like a company can't promise you. Like you could buy a product from IBM, buy a computer from IBM, they go out of business tomorrow, and you call, hey, it's broken. Tough noogies, IBM's out of business. They don't get sued. Sorry. It's not like you can go to like the guy that invented IBM computers and like get him to fix your computer after they just go out of business, and then you're screwed. Like just like a government will just say, oh, it's not profitable to be a government anymore. Like the economy crashed, so sorry guys, us royal elites are just gonna go into our bunkers and up in our hills.
And then what is everyone else gonna do except for like the people who already kind of have it figured out? You know what I mean?
And we'll dedicate another episode to at some point on the program to talking about like actually what people can do to prepare for possible economic collapse or something dangerous or shitty at some point. Yeah,
that would be a good episode.
we're just trying to get good content out there, guys, because like honestly, we have notes and we have stuff we want to say, but sometimes life comes at you and you don't always have the time to put the episode you want to put together, but you put together an episode that's important and we get good content in there. And guests show up and leave and whatever. So we just always try to keep it fresh and keep it going. But so we talked about fireworks. Number 4, we were going to transition right into it, tradition and holidays, which is really the logical step away from just the fireworks is like your symbol.
Right.
And we're going to transition right into 5 as well. And it's just cool, convenient, I guess, probably my thought process as I was doing this. But
okay.
Fireworks is a symbol of the 4th of July tradition. We have other holidays such as Thanksgiving, Christmas. Easter,
New Year's
Eve, Halloween, New Year's Day, whatever. And all these traditions and holidays, if you actually look at them closely, are all there to generate a level of homogenous beliefs among society to melt us all into one big one size fits all.
Yeah.
Footy
and
pajama.
Also like for the economy as well.
And for the economy, maybe. I think that's kind of how they try to sell it to us.
Or maybe it's just like to guarantee retail and like all these stores that like Christmas, you're gonna have a boost. No matter what, your sales are gonna go up.
Right.
Because everyone believes that if you give presents and if you buy turkeys and buy, decorations, all this
You're
shit.
Right. You're right.
You know what I mean?
No, because when people buy things, they buy based on their safety.
Yeah.
Like,
and
I was in the car business for a long ass time, and when I first started was like right before 2008 when the market crashed. And what I realized is that what makes the economy good or bad is just whether enough people think it's good or bad. Like, once a lot of people thought the economy was fucked, everybody was like, oh, we're fucked. And I'm not saying it wasn't any objective data behind that. It was. But all the government did was just cook the books and change things and print fake money and said, oh, the economy's better. And everyone looked at the numbers and said, oh, the Dow Jones went up 300, or 3,000, so it's definitely better.
Sure.
Not that there's, whatever it is, like $11 trillion of fake money floating around or whatever. This could be $4 trillion. It doesn't matter. You make fake money.
It's fake.
Yeah, I mean, if I can counterfeit money, I would have a lot cooler shit. That's for sure. So tradition and holidays are statist crap because it's a tool of the elites, a tool of the powerful to force you all to think the same. We get you all in the habit of getting together around Thanksgiving dinner, or getting together under the Christmas tree, or getting together even on birthdays, how we all treat each other's birthday. Yep. Like, this is the one day I'm going to recognize how special you are.
Yep, Mother's Day, Father's Day.
There's 365 days in the year, but you're my friend, or you're my X, Y, and Z wife, dad. I'm gonna spend this one day recognizing you.
Yep.
And
making you feel special.
What if I have something booked that day? I'm a bad friend because I wasn't available on that one day. I could have been there for every other day,
guilty
the
about
whole year.
It too.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's terrible.
So tradition and holidays to me, it's a unnatural, artificial regimentation of when we should celebrate, when we should be excited. If we went for tradition and holidays, if we said this is stupid, we could celebrate every day of the year. We're like, oh, you know what? July 9th, party time. Woo! Just like, we can tweet it out like July 7th, like,
block party.
Fuck work tomorrow, everyone in the whole world, fuck work tomorrow day. Like, we all just quit work one day. Just as a world, we just all drop out of work for one day. That'd be awesome. I want someone to do that. That'd be amazing.
It's like senior skip day, but for the world.
Dude, can somebody do that? Just somebody do that, please. I don't want to. I got a lot of stuff on my plate. Number 5, religion. You're supposed to read it, but number 5 is religion. You can do the next 2.
Okay.
The last 2. Number 5 is religion, and you were kind of like saying, I don't know if we could say this one, and I was, well, not because it's like bad to say, but because it may not be true.
I don't know how true it is.
Because you could voluntarily be a Buddhist, or voluntarily be whatever.
Right.
You're not just born into it. You could be born into no religion. Well, no,
some people are born into, I was born into Christian until I was, I don't know, like 13, 14, and I was just like, this is stupid.
Why do you say until you're 13? That's when you started to reject it?
Yeah, that's when I started to like realize how dumb it was. You know what I mean? I mean, my parents were really strict with religion, and like I wasn't allowed to watch the Care Bears or Captain Planet.
Why couldn't you watch the Care Bears?
I don't know. Oh, my mom told me, and I asked her this, because there was supposedly sexual innuendos.
Like they were shooting like sexual rainbow juice out of their bellies.
Rainbows, like, yeah, and like gay innuendos.
I could see that.
I don't know how true that is because I never watched it.
I could see. I could see.
Or like The Simpsons or whatever, and I wasn't.
Yeah.
listen to certain music, which is funny because the music that I was allowed to listen to was like the Beatles talking about drugs and you know,
right, which
like,
is pretty escapism and stuff like that.
Yeah, like, yeah, it's terrible. But anyways, so religion, right?
I think it's Statist because what it is it basically it gets you to believe in authority without reason or rationality. So I don't care what religion it is, whether you're
That's
a Buddhist
true.
or you're a Jew or you're a Christian, you all get together and somebody says a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense, that doesn't have any proof behind it.
Mhm.
And you all go, yes,
Amen.
yes, amen, this is true. And then
Yeah.
you all go off and go, it's so good that we are of the same mind washing together and belief of gulp, 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 Kool-Aid.
Sure.
Yeah, and then you go off to the state and you vote, and it just matches that template because.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that God
and
is not real.
that's what makes you think that it's okay.
I'm not saying
though,
that you should or should not believe in God.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that God is not. I can't prove God's falsity
Yeah.
or realness, but my beliefs aside, religion is separate from God. So you can be someone who says, "Look, I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in Gandhi. I believe in Buddha. Whatever it is, that's great. Muhammad, I don't care." But religion is man manipulating man, and it's a template for the state. I think. That's my thesis. So that's one.
I like where you were saying about it makes you conform to what was it a higher power or
authority.
Authority, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It gets you used to bowing to an authority.
Yeah. It makes you want to live a good life, and so the government has all these rules and all these laws. How to live a good life, you have to be.
Just as you follow the commandments, you should also follow
these laws
the
too.
Bill of Rights and the Constitution.
It makes so much sense.
We line those documents up like, oh, Bible, Constitution, Bill. There is no logical
Religion
ordering.
is statism.
If I said to you, Bible, Constitution, Bill of Rights, Huckleberry Finn, which one doesn't belong? Huckleberry Finn, obviously, and why? That one has the most truth to it. It's a fiction. They're all fiction.
Yeah.
But this one, at least,
tells a real story.
It depicts a more realistic story of reality.
Yeah, of how
the Bible, you don't see burning bushes and specters. No. You know what I mean? In the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, those documents had no meaning from the day they were written, from the time the ink dried. They were literally used as a mockery. They're laughing stock. Yeah. The people that wrote them abused them. Abuse the meaning behind them immediately for their own gain after the ink dried.
That's why they wrote them.
Yeah, exactly. That's the deepest thing you said to me in a while. I'm not saying you're not deep. I'm just saying like that one really hit me in the face. Like they wrote those documents. The whole reason
why they wrote that.
It was a permission slip. They were like, I, John Smith, Henry Adams, Quincy Fagalot, whatever. I'm not against gay people, but that's my way of saying he's a douchebag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Douche a lot.
They said, I hereby grant myself the permission to do whatever the fuck I want and ask you all to pay for it and your kids to pay for it and your kids' kids and your kids' kids and then you all have to salute and be happy and act like it's the greatest thing in the world. Signed, me. Permission slip, give me all your shit. I'm in charge. How is that a government? How is that consent? How is that a social contract? That's a guy giving another guy himself a permission slip.
Exactly. Like the founding fathers were just a tiny little
it's like
20
35
person.
dudes or 20 dudes
like
or whatever.
30 dudes or whatever it is.
How do you speak for
making up rules for everyone else and not asking them if it's cool?
Go back in time.
Is this cool, guys? Can you like revise this and like look it over?
Yeah.
Like everyone like make a copy for everyone, send it out. Everyone look it over. Like that didn't happen.
Go back to 17.
They were just like, we're gonna write this and we're gonna sign this because we're in charge. And that's it.
But how do they pull that off?
Everyone followed that for how old is America?
How the fuck did they pull that off?
270 years old or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But for 270 years, the same thing has
been in effect. Pretty Statist that you know America's age, though.
I'm saying I don't know.
1776. I think it's gonna be.
17.
I'm not gonna do the math.
I don't want to do the math.
All right. Anyway.
Okay.
Did you have another point on religion?
I don't.
Because you had a lot to say in the next one. You're addressing the next one, so bring that up.
Okay.
Start on that.
So schooling is status.
How so?
How so is schooling status? Well, I believe that schooling systems nowadays, or not nowadays, but anytime, they teach you what to think and not how to think.
Right.
They don't teach you how to think critically, or at least I wasn't taught how to think critically.
Right.
Or how to think for yourself, and it's more of a group mentality.
Right.
And you're put into this cube, and that's why, like, especially in Florida, they created like a program called like Falling Beneath the Cracks or like something like that.
That sounds
like,
very statist.
And then like that's where like the whole FCAT thing came about or whatever, and like all these statist tests that they give you, and it's all standardized, like standardized.
Every
testing.
state has that shit.
There's
other stuff going down like
I'm
Texas
sure there's
and
a
stuff,
same thing. In
but
every
what makes
single
it
state.
like? What is the statist like? Because I have my own thing, but I want you to like. Let me say my thing, then I'm gonna have you fire back. What I think schooling is statist. Period. Like public school, private school.
Yeah.
Even homeschooling is statist. Like wrap your brain around that for a second. If you tell your kids, 3-year-old Jimmy, it's time for reading now. I don't want to. Nope, we have to do reading. Pick them up and you put them in front of a book. Jimmy, we're doing reading. That's statist. That's making a little state for your little kid.
Right.
Reading time. You're in reading town.
Even
you have
if
to do
you're
reading.
homeschooling,
it's a
you're
jail.
forcing them to do it. Yeah.
Like, you should talk to Jimmy.
Shouldn't.
You should read in front of him. You should read with him. You say, hey, Jim, let's read together. Let's read a book, and get him to love reading and not like read now or do math now.
Yeah. You have to
introduce
science
them.
now.
The only ethical way to teach is to actually just teach. And teaching doesn't happen through force. It happens through voluntary participation. In a real society, like if I wanted to learn guitar, I would go to a guitar teacher and say, teach me guitar. And he would say, okay, here's what I charge for instructions. I'd say, great. And we would start to learn together. And if I was dissatisfied with my progress, I would go find another teacher.
Right. Yeah, my drama teacher used to always say discovery is the best form of education. Like when you discover how to do something on your own or learn it like on your own, you know what I mean?
Oh,
there was this one girl who used to always be like, how should I say this line? How should I say this line? And she'd be like, figure it out. Like discovery, like
try different things.
Yeah, try it, you know? And so that's the best way to learn really is when you want to learn it. You know, because how often when you were public school, I was public school. Yeah. Like when you're like forcing to learn something, especially if it's not interesting, you don't want to learn it. You know.
We gotta scoot along, only because we're having a good dialogue and stuff, but we have a lot more show and not a lot more time. So schooling is statist in my mind because you're making this little jail for kids, for minds that can't know any better.
Absolutely.
The last thing on our list of statist crap, I was gonna have you read it. You can read it, and then I'm gonna rant because it's my thing.
Roads.
Obviously,
driving
roads.
to the Keys.
Well, yeah,
especially.
That's where we realized it, especially because roads. That's the name of the show, Roads to Liberty. But roads is the thing that like it's the bane of everyone's existence when it comes to either whether you're on the statist side of the fence or whether you're on the anarchic or voluntary side of the fence.
Yeah.
Because if you're really arguing over roads, the point is lost because the person you're arguing with is actually as dumb as
they don't have
like
an
a
argument.
cockroach. Like because here's the thing. You're saying that the 100+ million people that all the world governments have murdered and executed in the past 100 years are not like I would rather walk everywhere I had to go or drive through dirt if I could save all those people from dying needlessly because the state wants to blow up people. Like if you add up all the deaths of all the governments in the past 100 years, it's an insane amount of people. And we're talking about roadways. So anyway, we have a Twitter hashtag Statism Day. We've said it before. If you're not on Twitter, no big deal. We can't go into the chat room right now doing live shows because we need multiple computers. It seems to crash my computer.
Crash.
Yeah. So we already had one little glitch in the beginning of the show. So we had all the status thing. Oh, roads. Yeah. Not only is it annoying that people talk about that and get hung up on that, but roads is not a problem. Like I'll give you guys. I'll take the bait. I'll give you guys the roads answer. It's I got 18 minutes left on the program. I can bust it out in 60 seconds. Here's the thing. Roads are valuable. Just like diamonds are valuable. Just like couches are valuable. Just like tacos are valuable. Anything that has value in the market will be placed in the hands of the people that value it the most because there's a bidding system. There's scarcity, there's supply, and there's demand. So the people that can't or haven't taken the time to learn how market forces operate, and I dropped out of my macroeconomics class in college on the second day because it was so fucking boring. But I learned it after college. I learned it on podcasts. I learned it in books.
Right.
I learned from people that I could listen to, like Jeffrey Tucker and Stephen Kinsella.
You led your own self-discovery.
Imagine that.
And you learned macroeconomics.
And micro. Apparently.
There we go.
Yeah. But roads would not be a problem just as tacos would not be. Like No one says, if it weren't for the government, who would make the tacos? If the government took a monopoly on tacos, if there was a law passed right now,
that
executive
only
order,
the government could make tacos.
All taco distribution must be given out by government.
Terrible tacos.
Because they saw a profit motive in the taco business and said, well, we're going to just take it over by force. And that's something that like Che Guevara did and something like Nelson Mandela, I think. A lot of the people that we all honor, maybe I'm throwing both of them in the muck, but I know Molyneux does a lot of like truth about, and all these people have been blasted. Gandhi, this, that, and the third. And a lot of it's true. Mother Teresa.
Sure.
Hey, face the music, man. If it's true, it's true. I don't care. No one's perfect, I guess, you know?
No.
But any which way. So roads would not be an issue because tacos would not be an issue because tomatoes would not be an issue because eyeglasses. If enough people want roads, we're going to all pool our money and we're going to do a Kickstarter campaign or something.
Yeah.
It's not that.
Fund ourselves.
And you really, like, I had a really big road debate the other day with like people, and it's like they were asking me like, well, what about truck drivers? Like, you know, who's going to enforce that they don't fall asleep and that they're not driving 48 hours? I'm like, whoever owns that roadway bid the highest of anyone for that roadway. So they obviously had a plan with it, whether they're going to put billboards up or whether they're going to monitor who's coming from where at what times of day and sell that data to companies for marketing purposes. There's so much value in roads that the government's not using.
Yeah.
You could have so much more safety and so many more services that, you know, you could have self-driving cars if the roads were intelligent enough. The reason we can't put sensors and microchips and, you know, all that stuff into roadways is because there's no profit motive for anyone to do it.
Right.
The government's monopolized roads, so roads are just going to live in the dark ages.
Why make the roads smarter and have self-driving cars when that means that people don't get pulled over for speeding anymore?
Right.
And people don't get pulled over for swerving or for running a red light. You know what I mean? Because if they were in a smart car that drove itself, those wouldn't be an issue.
And obviously the market is ready to do that kind of stuff, but it would need the participation of whoever's. If the road makers, and this is great. If this is a free society and the road makers said, it's great that you guys want to make these self-driving cars, but we're not digging up these roads. I mean, I guess you guys are screwed. A statist would go, see, that's a great example of how that technology will never get made because the road makers just hold it hostage. No, they have a price. Look, they have a mansion and they have a yacht already because they're in charge of all the roads. But, you know, there's people taking trains, there's people taking airplanes, there's people who carpool, there's people who ride bikes, there's people who live in cities that use public transportation. Roads aren't as great a business as they've always been, you know. Hey, wait a second, you have a way to tune up my roads and make them futuristic so that flying cars are further down the horizon and people are still driving for a while longer? Wait a second, I'm interested. So you'll pay for all the installation on all my roads, and you'll give me 10% of all the traffic revenue of everyone driving down all my roads that, you know, or whatever. You know, you'll give me 10% of all the profit of all the patent technology, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever their cut is.
Because people say, well, you can have a patent in a free society. Well, you can have proprietary design and not share it. If someone can't look at your design and hack it and figure out how it's made because it's encrypted or whatever. Yeah. Encryption is a great way.
That's just like having a patent. The only reason why people have patents is to protect their ideas.
Right.
And if they can find another way, like putting it in the blockchain, all encrypted.
Yeah, you can encrypt your
your
code.
And just have a private key and maybe someone else, you know? That's the same thing.
Anyway, so we're getting towards the top of the hour here. Sarah, talk a little bit about, like, because when we started to, like, become closer and closer friends over the past few years, and I started to get down my road to liberty and start to realize that I was actually going to eventually identify as an anarchist or a voluntarist, and I eventually was going to fully reject the state and fully tell people that they should also reject the state. Not only they should, but, and let me make this clear to you guys, if you're watching this as a statist, if you are, like, no joke, it's not funny. Like, I don't appreciate it. Look yourself in the mirror, study something, read Rothbard, follow the Voluntary Virtues Network. It's not funny that you want to force people to do what you think is good. Like,
it's really not.
If I said, Sarah, you should eat a salad, and you were like, I'm not in the mood, and I'm like, eat a fucking salad or I'm going to shoot you, that would be insane. And we have people in society that are legitimately talking about, I don't want to pay for my employees' birth control, and they're going, you pay for that fucking birth control, I will throw you in a fucking cage and shoot you. That's not civilized.
No.
I actually had someone say to me in a debate today, we live in a modern society, so we need to provide health care for everybody and birth control for everybody. We live in a modern society, so I can
pay?
aggress on you and force you to buy things.
And why should I have to pay for some girl's birth control that I'm not even
So she can fuck all she wants?
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
So,
I don't want to do that.
So she could be...
But I'm forced to.
Distracted from her work, texting 85 guys because she's got an endless supply of condoms now, or like she can't get possibly pregnant.
Yeah, exactly.
The state just takes away responsibility from people. That's what it really does. So tell me about your road to liberty a little bit.
Well, I'm still currently on my road to liberty. I don't think it ends for anyone really, maybe, but I mean, it kind of all started when I was younger. My parents were very sheltering of me, so I started to rebel, and I really clung on to like the hippie movement. So I kind of started off my teenage years like fuck the man, like doing recreational drugs and like acting out. Dropped out of high school. And then I started working for an environmental group and in New Jersey. And one of my field managers turned me on to like the 9/11 truth movement.
Right.
And all of that. And that's kind of where it started to like really hit me. Like, shit's fucked up. You
started scratching your head. Like,
I'm like, wait a second. Like, and then I watched like all the 9/11, not all of them obviously, but some 9/11 documentaries and stuff, and like loose change, stuff like that.
Right.
And then I met, well, not that I met you, but then you started on and then we reconnected.
Right.
And so I started listening to Freedom Things with you sometimes when you would drive to the Bronx.
New York,
for your job.
Right.
And so that's when I really started to get into it a little bit more and talking to you more and watching documentaries and stuff. I've definitely realized that the state is bad. The state is bad. They force you to do shit you don't want to do.
Yeah. And
they do horrible things on their own, like the corruption and just the war, and it's fucked up.
If everybody could vote.
Fucked up,
Yeah.
And I believed that voting was the answer, like when Obama came into office. Like, I wasn't in the situation. I had just moved to New Jersey,
right.
So I didn't register to vote in time. But if I had, I would have voted for Obama. Because I really believed at that point, this is before I watched all the 9/11 stuff, but
right.
I believe that you could change it from the inside. If just the right person would get into office, or just the right person would make a law, or whatever it was. Right. But I see now that it's just.
I want to draw an analogy real quick, going off what you just said. I think it's really fascinating, actually, like thinking that it's the right person or the system, like that dichotomy is almost like ourselves, like. We are willing to say that we made a bad choice, or that we had a bad day, or we acted out, or we were being an asshole, or what I said was out of character.
Right.
We're all willing to admit that kind of stuff. We're not willing to admit that I'm a piece of shit. Like, we're not willing to say I have a shitty personality, or I'm a horrible communicator, or I treat my friends like shit. We're not willing to be that honest about ourselves. Just being factual. Not even speaking about myself or you, just saying in general as a society. I don't see that level of honesty from people. Not singling anybody out, just in general, I don't think anyone's doing their part in that way to be just self-honest. So I think that we, in the same way, don't want to blame our actual core, just like we don't want to blame the core of the state.
Right.
We'll blame the guy that just did a bad job, but we won't blame the whole DNA.
It's not the system, it's the people.
It's just the leaves. It's not the branch and the.
It's not the branch and the trunk.
The whole tree is rotten.
It's rotten.
Yeah,
rotted.
It's weeping over. Yeah. It's creaking.
It's about to fall over.
And we all live under this tree, and all the statists are saying, let's draw the fence higher and stronger so that we can't escape from underneath this collapsing dead weight that's going to crush.
Yeah, it's like they wanted to collapse and then have all of us like be fucked, and then they're fine. It's like. This is the plan.
Yeah.
That's what's the fucked up part about it, is these are the people who are in charge.
It's called eugenics, though, because they want to be in charge of us, but they don't want to be in charge of so many of us. If there's 8 billion or 10 billion of us, that's a problem for them. That's a problem. Eugenics is the belief that society has too many people in it and we need to reduce the population. Rich people, many of them, are accused of believing in eugenics because
they don't have a lot of kids.
They know that their welfare can only go so far if there's too many mouths to feed. Too many poor people that can't do shit for themselves. We can't subsidize all their wages at $11 an hour, $12 an hour. It gets out of hand at some point. So eugenics is the idea that rich people, or the belief that we need to trim down the herd. But we're going to have eugenics because the socialists are going to continue to get. Socialism is eugenics. It's society's naturally trimming down the dumb. Everyone says we all want to share each other's resources. we all want to starve and die. We don't want accountability. We don't want the pricing system. We don't want any kind of proof of who has done what and who is deserving of what. We just all want to live and die together because we have no self-worth or self-individuality. We just want to be a blob or a face in the crowd.
A zombie.
Yeah. And we had a lot more stuff we were going to get into, but with 7 more minutes left, we're going to save the list of statist beliefs for another show. Maybe like Memorial Day or Labor Day or one of the other statist holidays.
Okay.
And we'll get into the zombie apocalypse, which is taking place right now.
Mm-hmm.
You guys might have noticed if you go into a shopping mall, everyone looks kind of like, yeah, they're all zombies. Like, if they're not staring at their phone, which I'm on my phone all the time, but I'm productively doing stuff.
Yeah,
I'm working on voluntary virtues. I'm working on projects.
Facebook, like,
I'm looking for business opportunities and whatever. So, but regardless, and we're in the store today, and it's like people are legitimately like so concerned about being PC and whispering to one another that like the whole store was like at a hush, and you heard the like terrible background track music, which was like just like pop top 40, but like really too quiet to even
get into. And we're standing in a line that has 10 people in it, and there's like 4 people doing register. There were just like,
and there was like another 5 or 6 employees like just like standing around, milling around.
Yeah, like folding clothes as slow as possible.
I felt like I was actually in like a set of like a play, or like, you know, like the It's a Small World where like all the robots just go, and like it didn't feel like they were all people with personalities and lives and troubles and things happening. It felt like they were all just like in a movie or something, like just like going through the motions, like no sense of urgency. You know, like, we better get this line out of here because it's getting backed up. Those people have lives. Those people have places to go. Like, they're just like, oh yeah, hey, boop boop, yep, all right, yeah, like slow as possible, no big deal. Like, I know I might be anxious or like on edge or whatever, like I'm quitting cigarettes and stuff. Like, and I've quit cigarettes like 10 times
I was
in the past
feeling
2
it
years.
too,
like, I
though.
quit
You
every
know,
2 weeks for fun, but
like I noticed it, and I've worked retail. Like, I used to work at Banana Republic, and that's not the way that you know, just be fast.
Well,
be
also
efficient.
you're from down here, but we're in Florida right now recording this, but I'm from up north, and you've been up north a lot, New Jersey, New York, and
for
like
the past 5 years.
It's so much faster.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Anywhere.
Like, when I moved back down here, culture shock. Like, I'm from here.
I haven't been up north since January 8th is when I came down here. So, and I plan on going west sometime soon, like in the new year. So, when I finally go back to like the Northeast and like walk around like Red Bank and New York and stuff, like I'm gonna be like, this shit's really cool. Like, I get why it is so cool now that I've been to other places. Like, other places have palm trees. That's or like this or that. That's why I lived there for
like 3 years, because it was so cool.
New Jersey and New York is kind of like the center
like walking
of
in the village
where shit happens. But any which way, you can love your towns, you can love your cities, you can love your neighborhoods, your friends, you can love your culture, you can love your recipes, your clothing styles, your pop icons, your TV shows, your lunchboxes, your comic book characters. That's society. That's America. We're our pop culture. We're our society.
Sure.
But we're not our state. We're not our flag. We're not our government. We're not our leaders.
That's
we're not John F. Kennedy.
We're
not Richard Nixon. We're not Bill Clinton. We're not Barack Obama. We're not Rand Paul or Ron Paul. And we're not any great man. We're a bunch of individuals. And when you start to speak for anybody else, stop. Shut the fuck up. Honestly. Like, it warrants a curse word. Just shut the fuck up. Please. You cannot speak for anybody but yourself. When you do it, it's aggression, it's violence, and it's seriously, we need to stop. I'm not saying go run into the street with guns and kill people. I'm saying just don't take aggression from people anymore. If someone says there ought to be a law, or you should do this, or you should do that, say, you should explain to me why, instead of trying to force me to do it.
Yeah.
I get really excited about it because, seriously, I want to see a free society in my lifetime. And I want you all to stop really advocating for aggression against other people. Find in your heart to be a good person and earn something and be somebody, instead of demanding shit for free and telling people what they should give to other people. It's pitiful. It's disgusting.
Yeah, don't force people to do things that they don't want to do.
Yeah.
Like, non-aggression principle, you know?
On Independence Day, celebrate your independence from dogma, from cult thinking, from group mentality, and be an independent person and speak the truth and say what you want to say, do what you want to do. And don't be anyone's bitch. Literally, like, don't just do something because someone's your friend or your boyfriend or your dad or your mom or your boss. If you don't like it, if you don't want to do it, bow out and say, no, not me.
Yep.
I'm independent.
Yep.
And don't celebrate it today. Celebrate it tomorrow.
Every day.
Celebrate it on August 14th, on the most random day possible that you can think of. Celebrate independence in your daily life.
Yeah.
Not on stupid ass July 4th. Okay, guys? Happy stupid ass July 4th day, Statism Day. Thank you guys for watching Road to Liberty.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Stay tuned for Chuck Ford with the Liberty Geek Show. Next on Voluntary Virtues. Tune in next week, Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. Road to Liberty. We're going to have another jam-packed show next week. And check out the Coin Pros Crypto Talk Hour Wednesdays, 7:30, if you like Bitcoin and you want to learn more about cryptocurrency. Peace out, guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
How do I turn it off?